Well, all right, family, we've made it to the last round. Okay, so we're closing in on our 60 minutes. You can do this in 20-minute intervals, 40 minutes, any bits and pieces, whatever you want. It's all good and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I'll break it up into parts or if I'll just make one long thing so that you can just, have it either way. This is sort of like my infatuation, or I'm relentless with this and stuff. I don't know. I find it meditative and just comforting as well. And it's just how I've been raised, and so it's just second nature to me. Not necessarily the fighting, I don't know, be one of those people. I'm not sure if I would be cool with fighting others and getting into fights being second nature. I'm not sure if that's cool. I'm not sure if I would feel cool or feel good being able to say that anyway. I don't know. I don't think about it like that. Life is life, whatever, right? But yeah, I don't know. I feel one when I'm practicing fighting. Yeah. So let's go right back to the basics again in this round. This stuff will touch on something to recalibrate. You see, we're doing so let's say 4 punches, right? Some kind of jabs that are setting up or whatnot, and then out of that, at some point or whatever, it all leads up to that 1-2. That 1-2 combo, jab, cross combo and stuff. But we can do them compact. We can do them without opening up or giving more position or advancing or rotating, or we can do them by opening up or rotating, advancing, or something like that stuff. Rotating, advancing, open up might give us more power, might give us more speed, might give us more distance. Here, what I'm showing you is have fun, even if you don't always do this in a real situation or whatever, but have fun playing with your body angles and positions so that you can feel the full range of the shot. So here, I want you to exaggerate the finishing move, your finishing punch on that. I want you to feel how your body is. I want you to rotate those flexors and the hip muscles and all of that stuff in the core as well. I want you to get those activated and targeted and used. I want you to use them and stuff. I don't want you to always throw a punch that's all just shoulder or doesn't involve some of your body and legs into it as well. You know what I mean? All right. Well, I was able to spit that out, but you understand what I mean. And if you don't understand what you mean, you can by just seeing what I'm doing, right? And you do it and feel it, and then you'll see, right? It's not a situation of where I told you so, whatever. It's just about enjoying it and enjoying how the body feels when you're doing this stuff like that. It's quite dynamic, and as you've heard me say before, maybe at this point, I think it's also sacred. I think there's something really fundamental about it that goes back to a primal nature of ourselves and stuff like that. And I don't just mean like the barbaric or whatever, but just showing you the different angles and stuff. The key point here is look at my feet. You see, the point is I'm not trying to step. Don't step to give yourself that leverage. Don't only need to step in order to get leverage and stuff like that. It certainly can help and stuff, and in the beginning, whatever, it definitely is useful to feel out stuff like that. But make sure that you also have sessions where you can get good, purchase on your techniques and stuff without having to do massive steps in any direction as well and stuff. And also get your body into it, but still not do all of that massive movement. So just because you stand in place doesn't mean it has to only be shoulder now or just upper body. All right, so what do we got now? What do we got going on? Now we're back to our, right? So double jab, 1, 2, front kick. Land the front kick forward into your new position and, repeat. Wash, rinse, cycle, repeat. Sometimes I do that, 10,000 hours? I figure it out and stuff like that. How many years that I work out, multiple hours per day? It was a long time, about 3 hours, But the trick is when you reach a certain level, and I don't mean but when you realize that that's part of your life, it's not about oh, I'm finished what I'm doing and now I'm going to work out. You start to realize that it's just a part of your life. So you start to catch yourself and you see that everything you're doing, even if you have an office job or you're at a desk, everything you're doing or little bits and pieces are still that workout. And those who know. And if you don't, you can understand what I'm saying and stuff like that. You get up from your chair and you go to your refrigerator, right? But you have to go out your door. Maybe you have a piece of furniture. Maybe, when you open your refrigerator, do you stand right in front of the door and swing it open and biff yourself into the head? No, you open the refrigerator from the side, right? Do you open the refrigerator with your right hand or do you your left hand? If you usually do it with your right, why don't you do it with your left? When you do it with your left, what are the differences? Do you have to change your position from that? You see what I'm saying? It's all fun. It's all the beauty of that. It's all the beauty in the life. Now, I like to share that experience with dancing as well and stuff. Dancing and all of that is very similar as well. Everything we do in life is like a dance. Everything we do in life is also like a celebration. It's all one beautiful relationship, with all due respect, with struggle as well and stuff like that. Stuff like that, eh? Checking the time. All right, we got plenty of time. So what are we going to do, y'all? What are we going to do? What do you feel like doing? All right, well, are we going to try to combine a whole bunch of it in together? Let's see what we're going to do. I got some more rotations going, I think, if I remember correctly. All right. Yeah, so not necessarily rotating off, but there was an advancing or a sort of, you see how I'm advancing? So I think that's what we're trying to get at here. 4 shots. 4 shots. You're staying for the most part squared up with your opponents, or you're staying on line. But you see, as you're coming with the hook, I want the hook to now be your excuse to either change your rotation or whatnot, or I want you to be able to rotate out of that hook. Now, keeping with that theme and stuff like that, and here's a really important one, and we're going to touch on this a bit more other times in other sessions and stuff. Divide the drill, divide the combo. So 2 of your punches, let's say, whatever, but then your opponent moved. So now you adjust and stuff and finish up your drill. Okay? So we're going to play with all those things. The point is, keeping it simple, let's say from point A to point B, I want that point B to change halfway through, or at some point in the middle, or at some point during your flurry, during your combo, I want that point to change a little bit, so that you either have to change your angle, or I want you to be the one who causes the chain, to instigate, I don't know if it's instigate or whatever, but initiate the change. See, now here, I don't know if it's not necessarily an exaggeration, but you see, we're moving on every punch. Every punch involves some kind of movement, whether it's a combination of forward or rotating to the side, so we're circling around. But the point is, every punch was involving some kind of movement. We're riding with it or whatever. Mixing and matching and stuff. So after we did our 1-2, and then we're moving on one of the punches. It doesn't always have to be the hook. It can be whatever. You could switch stance. On one of your punches, you can use that punch to be the punch that your body rides into a new stance. Okay, so let's work on the drill. Let's figure it out. What's it going to be? What do you think? What are you feeling? What's it going to be? Okay, compacting it a little. We're getting rid of all the extra jabs. We're just doing the 1-2. We're doing kicks, and then we're following up with the roundhouse kick. So you do your 1-2, jab cross, then hook, and then the roundhouse kick. You see the progression, the leading, how it's all leading, right? The hook's allowing you to move off to the side angle or forward, and that roundhouse kick is also thrusting you or bringing you forward, covering that distance. So you're able to follow your opponent upon their retreat or come in on your opponent. Doesn't mean that all of the punches are landing. Sometimes you're throwing those punches to keep your opponent at bay, and also to bait them in, and also to kind of create your shield and stuff. Here I'm showing you again how you can cultivate, how you can train, how you can prepare, how you can lead your opponent into it. You see, and we're going to exaggerate it, but you see how that rear hook that I'm throwing, right? So that keeps my opponent going to my left, and then I meet my opponent as they're going to the left with something that's going to be coming from the left. The sweet science. It's not rocket science, but in a way, okay, it's very critical science, because if you mess it up or you have no logic to it or whatnot, and then you're just flailing, more or less. Or you have a high chance of flailing and just getting destroyed because you're in no man's land with what you're doing and stuff. And we don't want to be in no man's land with what we're doing and stuff. We want to we want to enjoy it. We want to be conscious of it. We want to be aware. Simple enough, right? But and we're just being inspired, so we're coming up with right? So imagine, let's keep it in an exaggerated sense. Imagine I threw that lead hook or jab or whatever, and my opponent completely sidestepped out of the way. In the direction that they sidestep out of the way, that's where we meet them with the kick. So, did I want my opponent to go that way? Not necessarily. Maybe, maybe not. But let's keep it really simple. I wanted to land a hook or a jab, okay, to the opponent. And they got out of the way. In the direction that they went out of the way, okay, you meet them with the kick. Now, I could follow them and chase them with the kick. That's also a technique as well. You could chase them. There is no right and wrong. In this drill, we're doing a nice logical one where we're meeting them. So if they sidestep to the right, you have a kick coming from the right. And we're going to work on that a bit here. So you can see. Slowing it all down for us, and you see. So you throw your punch, and they got out of the way, right? And now they're on the side of you and stuff. And you have to change your position. It could just be your head movement. It doesn't have to see subtle. It doesn't require me to take this 5-second whole rotation with 5 or 6 little mini steps as well. But that takes some training to get used to it and stuff, rather than chasing your opponent, okay? And there's all versions of this too. So rather than chasing your opponent, you choose the right shot. You choose the right strike that's most effective and efficient for that. Happens a lot, let's say, in piano or an instrument or guitar. You can play your solo, you can play your notes, and you can move up the fretboard of the piano or whatever with 3 fingers, right? But we understand how, there's an effective way to do that. So after a certain point, you're going to cross the thumb over and then continue with 4 fingers and stuff like that. Same with guitar. Like there's a time, some people, it might be more effective to use your pinky and stuff, which allows your other fingers a better transition through. But it's not wrong. A lot of times people will use their ring finger instead of the pinky and stuff. But there are times when, because of that, you will do something a little less effective or inefficient because of that. You'll have to then do an extra shuffle or position in order to get the pinky back in there or get the ring finger back if you were going to try to land the chord or something. It's not the end of the world. People have their way or whatever, but that's my point. You see my point and stuff like that. When your opponent moves somewhere, you may already have a strike that's very logical and effective to throw without you having to do a massive adjustment. So that, your opponent is walking into your shot. Anytime there's just ebb and flow. Anytime you're moving away from a certain angle or a certain side, you might be moving into another side. So here we're keeping compact and stuff, and we're showing you the compact roundhouse kick. It doesn't have to always be the full extension one and stuff, but we're still practicing those rotations and stuff. So we're following your opponent, or you're chasing your opponent around on one side, and then at some point you just stop the chase and you just throw the kick that's going to meet them in their other direction that they're going. You see that, right? Should be pretty obvious. Now we're working on this drill a whole bunch. Cool, right? And you do that with punches as well. You don't have to just adjust and turn your whole body to continue to throw your left hook. At some point, especially if your opponent did some kind of invasive or quick move, right, the right just might be a better shot because they're over by the right. Might not, if you're looking to maintain, rather than doing a massive rotation to keep throwing, to keep insisting that you're going to throw your left. The point is practice both. When in doubt, practice both. Practice all of them. That's my motto. Should I be really good at my lead hand, or should I try to work my offhand? Hey man, you know what? Do both. Or what if I don't have enough time? Do both. If you don't have enough time, then do what you're most comfortable with. Master what you like if you feel like mastering. If you have no idea what you want, if you have no idea how to answer that, truly don't. You say, I really don't. I don't know if I should just load up on what I'm good at, or if I try to be a little bit more well-rounded. I've heard good arguments for it and good arguments against it. What I would suggest is practice a little bit more till you get an idea of what you might like. Okay? So in that sense, practice both sides. Practice the sort of being ambidextrous and see how that feels for you. You might not like it. You might not like the progress that you're making and stuff like that. For people who are into the exercise part of this as well, without a doubt, you should probably be thinking of the ambidextrous side. You should be alternating both sides and stuff. All right. Thanks for hanging in there. We had a great time. Love you guys very much, and I'll see you soon.